𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. Hi, everybody. Hello, finest Shandy. Finest, gorgeous lady. Good evening, good evening. How are you? We missed you on Tuesday. How are you? Hello, Miss Eleanor Sanctuary. Hello, everyone. You want to be? You're gonna be the first. I appreciate that. Well, you already know. I got too much love, but you already know that. But thank you. Hello, Miss Nilechi. How are you? Hello, everyone. Ẹ sorry to wine. I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. The one and only wing Cecilia of the most. I told you this lady has Miss Eleanor Sanctuary. I'm telling you, you need to write a book of phrases. Oh, I'm trying to think of what we can call it because you got the best lines. Like it's like, shh, like I'm telling you. Hello, 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 hello. Anti-stimulus. Okay, that's that's a new one. Anyway, welcome in everyone. Happy Thursday. This week went so fast. Like it was just like 2 minutes ago we saw each other or we came together on Tuesday. Now it's already Thursday. October is like just like Miss Secretary said, October is like September ain't got nothing on me. We are running this race together. But anyway, welcome in everyone. Welcome to let me see. Let's put on glasses so we can see. I'm loving these new glasses, I'm telling you. Welcome everyone to the most positive immigration space on social platforms, safest space to celebrate immigration victories and ask questions about new policies with she right here. Right here. Hi. Can you believe it's October 10th? Like we just celebrated Independence Day like 2 minutes ago. But here we are. But anyway, welcome in everybody. This is Attorney Abisola Adebola Olale, immigration attorney based in Alabama, representing immigration clients in all 50 states. Got an immigration case. If it's a case type that we handle, like VA, citizenship, NIW cases, H-1B, removal of conditions, marriage green card, employer-sponsored green card, change of status, you name it. Some removal, defensive proceedings in immigration court. No worries at all, Franny Shannon. Listen, it's always a blessing to have you join. Fighting the sleep so much. if you fall asleep, that listen, America is not for the faint of heart. Like you come here and you're going to work your butt off. It's not so no worries at all. I mean, we're glad that you even keep in so whichever works for you. But so if you need our help in your immigration case, we will be glad to help you out. We represent you in your immigration case. And if you're just joining us for the first time, say hello. Tell us where you're joining from. Hello, Ms. Masala. How are you? We'll Yes, you're permitted to ask questions. Well, welcome in Mayawa. Well, we get questions at the end of the topic we're going to discuss. Okay, so you put your questions in the comment section, and do not repeat the questions. If you repeat the questions, those questions will be skipped completely. So that's so it just helps with the flow where everything is a lot easier to just go through if questions are not repeated. But anyway, yes, we go live every Tuesdays and Thursdays, or most Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Zone. Everyone else that lives in another time zone, you're gonna have to figure that out. I went to law school, so I don't have to do math. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But anyway, once again, this is Attorney Abisola Olale. I practice immigration law based in Alabama, but we represent immigration clients in all 50 states. I'm telling you, that's America. People were like, okay, so because sometimes I'm awake, I'm sending emails at 3 a.m., 2 a.m., and when the client responds, like, were you literally awake at 3 a.m.? Yes. Welcome to America. Welcome to readers. This morning I went to bed at no capping. Went to bed at four something, and I had to get up to take Tia to school at 6:30. And and had court and then went to the office. So if I just fall asleep, y'all just bear with me because literally working on like 2 hours of sleep. But that's welcome to America for us. But anyway, yeah, our contact information is 334-341-4475. Miss Eleanor Sanctuary and Finance Channel, what are y'all selling? Don't leave me out. I need to know. Y'all don't be selling things behind my back because you already know that I'm probably going to be interested. But anyway, 334-341-4475. Visit our website at @olalayalawfirm.com. info@@olalayalawfirm.com. We'll be glad and more than happy to help you and discuss your case. The first step I take in starting an immigration case with my firm is to do a proper paid consultation. This is my version of free consultation. But if you need something more specific to your case, then we do 30 minutes, 45 minutes, or an hour. It's easy to schedule your consultation if you go on our website. Once again, that's olalayalawfirm.com. Or it's go. Oh, okay. Let me focus. Finance Yanni, you're ready? Yes. Please send. Okay. Anyway, so let's talk immigration, y'all. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel at Olalay Immigration. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok at Olalay Immigration on all platforms, and reach out. This is what I do. I mean, I eat, drink, breathe, sleep immigration. Like, this is my life. You want to know why my hair is gray? That's why. That's why. But anyway, let's talk immigration, y'all. And if you have questions or if you're just joining us for the first time, let us know where you're joining us from. We have people actually join from other countries, which is pretty cool. Let us know if this is the first time. If you've got questions, the routine is to put your questions in the comment section, and I try to go all across the platforms just to answer as many questions as we possibly can. Let's talk subsequent marriage case. What's at stake? That's the topic for tonight. So basically, we're tackling marriage-based cases, and specifically when you've got a subsequent marriage case, how much harder is that going to be for USCIS to approve your case? What should you be looking out for? How quickly should you remarry and before you can refile your case? That's what this is about. So subsequent marriage case, what's at stake? Subsequent marriage case, what's at stake? So this actually was one of I had a consultation, very, very complicated case. I had a consultation today and I was like, you know what, let me just, talk about this because there will be, and like I always say, if there's someone going through that situation, there's certainly somebody else that is going through that situation as well. So in this client, because we were retained today after the consultation, but in this client's case, they had married 5 years ago or thereabouts to someone else. That marriage, that case ended up being denied, and now they remarried someone else, and that is what the issue is now. USCIS is giving them a really, really hard time in the new case, and that's where we are. So if you have, whenever you get married a second time or a third time or 200 times, whatever the case may be, each time you now file a new application with USCIS because you had requested immigration benefits in the previous case. There is a higher scrutiny in your new case because USCIS is mandated in that. So in every single marriage-based case, it's almost like the reverse. Like, in criminal defense, you are innocent until you're proven guilty, right? In immigration, though, the way it is they start out assuming everyone that gets married is doing it just so they can get a green card. That is just the way it works. Now, you have to prove that you did not get married to that person just for a green card. That's why when you get an RFE or notice of intent to deny, they tell you, provide evidence. You haven't provided sufficient evidence to show that you did not enter into this marriage just for immigration benefits. So it's the reverse. So that's the level playing field for everyone who wants to start a marriage-based case. The assumption or the presumption is you're doing this for the green card, then you've got to prove otherwise. That's how that goes. So when you now have a first marriage and that case was denied, then you get married, not to the same person. I'm not talking about getting married to the same person because, something happened in the first case. Maybe you had a divorce decree issue or whatever case may be. I'm talking about a case where you now get married to someone completely different from the first spouse. And now this is you coming to USCIS again, seeking another marriage-based benefit, immigration benefit, after a previous case had already been denied. What is at stake? There's a whole lot at stake. Number one, USCIS is going to apply a higher level of scrutiny on your case. It doesn't mean the burden of proof is different. It's just going to be stricter in adjudication of that case. Number two, USCIS is going to have to review your previous case to see whether or not that previous case is going to have an impact in a subsequent marriage case. An example is this. You have a first case that was filed. Your spouse does not show up, or your spouse shows up for the interview. You guys are separated, and in your separation, in the separate interviews, the American spouse tells them, "Well, I was paid, to get married, or to, they're going to pay me, or they're going to buy me a car, some incentive to be able to get a green card." Even if, and usually what happens in that case is USCIS would say, well, your spouse withdrew their application, their petition. That's usually their default. So your case may end up being denied because the person withdrew their petition, right? However, you don't know exactly what transpired between your American spouse and the immigration officer. You may not ever know until you now now you find yourself in a subsequent marriage. So you divorce that person, you get remarried, this new spouse files for you. USCIS is mandated to bring up what transpired in that first case, just to make sure that you don't have a 204C bar. 204C basically means that if they have concluded or found in any case, whether it's employment, whether it's family case, whatever case may be, a marriage case rather, and so it's going to affect you whether it's employment or a subsequent marriage case. If USCIS has made the conclusion in the previous marriage case that you entered that marriage just for the sole benefit of getting a green card, even if they told the person the best thing they can do is to withdraw the application and the person withdraws the petition, and that was what your denial notice says, it does not mean they still cannot bring that as a reason to now adjudicate your second case. And 204C is a permanent bar, meaning if they make a conclusion that your initial marriage case was a fraudulent marriage, you can never get a green card through any other marriage, no matter how strong your evidence is. You can have 200 million kids with a second spouse. You're not going to get a green card if they have made a conclusion of a 204C case. So that's one thing they're mandated to look at. If it's not a 204C situation, number three, USCIS has to review your file in the entirety, just to make sure that there's nothing that stands out or they missed in the initial adjudication. So an example would be if they denied that case just because they weren't satisfied that you had sufficient evidence, then you come back, not with the same spouse on refiling, you divorce that spouse and you come back with a new spouse. Even if you've got kids with that new spouse, whatever the case may be, they still would have to go back to that previous case, review that file entirely, be sure that they didn't miss something that would have alluded to a marriage fraud case. And then before they come back to not adjudicate your second case. Now, most of the time, what I'm seeing, because I've been in such interviews, USCIS will ask several questions of your petitioning spouse about that previous marriage and how much they know. And so I always tell you, that's one of the things we always prep about, that letting your petitioning spouse know as much as possible about the previous case, how long you're married to that person, what were the issues in the marriage, what did the marriage end, was there any kind of agreements? You've got to be upfront so your new petitioning spouse is not blindsided that's not going to affect your case. So is there a whole lot more at stake when you have a subsequent marriage-based case with a separate spouse? Absolutely. Those are things that USCIS has to consider. One of the best things that you can do before you get married. So what can you do in that situation? Number one, give yourself some time. A lot of people are very afraid, which is, understandably so. A lot of people are scared of the fact that you get denied in the first case, you're out of status, there's always that possibility that USCIS is going to refer you to immigration court and place you in deportation removal proceedings. Nobody wants to be in that situation. So a lot of people are like, okay, 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂💏, just to buy time, but that's not usually the best route to go. I understand the logic behind it, but if you've got a denied case, especially when the marriage was rocky, first thing I want to evaluate you about is, do you qualify for bar? Before you rush into a second marriage with somebody else, I go back and reevaluate that case. Is that something that happened in that marriage that's now going to make you eligible for a self-petition rather than running into a new marriage? If there's no abuse, marriage is ended. Second thing is, we have to do a FOIA request of your records. Get a complete copy of your immigration file from that first marriage directly from USCIS, because sometimes what the officer tells you during the interview is just what they tell you. That's what they want you to know. They're not going to give you a copy of their notes. Their notes have to be made a part of your immigration record. And not everything is going to be redacted. I can't even tell you how many times we've done a FOIA request and see gold mine kind of things in documents that helps a case. Get a FOIA record of your file, review your entire file, make sure there's nothing in that previous case that's going to bar you from getting a green card in the second case. Thirdly, do not rush into the marriage. Give yourself time. Obviously, you have to divorce that previous spouse. You've got to also show that you had time between when that first marriage ended and before you start dating the second person. You want to avoid any kind of conflicts between the timeline of a new marriage with a previous marriage, even if a divorce is pending, because then USCIS is seeing what they're seeing is this is someone who is just getting married just because they want to get a green card. And probably the most important part of it is, if you've got a first case that's been denied and that marriage is done, and know that the best thing you can do for yourself, especially if you file, because a lot of people file their first cases without an attorney. If you file a first case without a lawyer's help, the best thing you can do for yourself is getting an attorney. At the very least, have a consultation, have your case evaluated, let them review your file, making sure that you've got sound and solid arguments that you'll be ready to make if USCIS now brings up issues from your first marriage case, to be able to show that you're not jumping from one marriage to another just because you want to get a green card. So I hope that helps to know that, yes, you can do a subsequent marriage, but a subsequent marriage is usually a harder one to prove. And those are the things you have to consider before you now jump, both feet into a new marriage. Just making sure that you're not going to be, it's not going to be alleged that all you're doing is trying to get your permanent residency in the United States. That's all she wrote, people. That's it. That's it. Straight to the point, right? Okay. And this video is going to be up for anyone who wants to go through it and hear the points again. So YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Now, I don't know how you look for live, pre-recorded lives on TikTok. I haven't figured that out, but whoever knows, yes, go on up and it'll be somewhere there. Anyway, all right, let's get to questions. Hello, Ms. Gibson. How are you? Good evening. You can't set a notification. You may have turned the bell, the little bell thingy, whatever it is, off or something. So you may want to turn it back on. But TJ is fine. The boys are fine. TJ is good. Hello, Miss Kinley. How are you? I am doing well. How about yourself? Hello, Ola Johnson. Children in Africa on waiting list for interview. How long will that be? I can't tell you. I have quite a number of clients waiting for interview. We get this ridiculous emails every month, every other month from NBC, where you've been documentary qualified since yada yada yada. We're waiting to and as soon as an interview, it's like, okay, what's the point of telling me when you're not scheduling one? So yeah. My aunt got a valid green card in September 2022. When exactly can she apply for citizenship? If your aunt was married to a citizen, then she will be eligible to apply for citizenship based on 3 years. If she was married to someone who's a green card holder and the person never became a citizen, or the person is not yet a citizen, then she's going to have to wait the 5-year period. Hello, 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕 evening from Houston, Texas. And I hope everyone was safe. For those who were in, the path of the hurricane, I pray that God gives you, restores the restoration, in 100-fold. Because, I don't know, sometimes I'm like, okay, God promised not to end the world with water anymore. But, sometimes it feels like it. But who are we to question his authority? So hopefully everyone is safe and sound, and, whatever way we can help, we'll be glad to, because that's something that I'm committed to do. But anyway, okay. So let us go to Instagram first. I'm usually going this way because you can tell I'm right-handed. So it's not easier for me to go that way. Alrighty. Thank you for being the first finest Jenny. I appreciate it. Okay. Christmas list craze has started. I'm telling you, that's the one thing I don't care for. Like, because my kids are older now. God, I can't believe my oldest kid is almost 20. Like, yeah, thank God. But 19, almost 20, and 14. So we're not doing. I remember when we were much younger, I was like, I was excited about Christmas. I was always overwhelmed because it's like, okay, is it about Jesus? Is it about a gift? But then, kids want to learn about Jesus, but they can learn about Jesus a whole lot more, much more comfortably if they've got toys with them and all that. So I had to learn to but for me now, because I don't have to have a list of, toys or whatever, it's like if I have someone else on my list for Christmas, I just send them money. I ain't going to a store trying to figure out what the heck you want. No, I'm not doing it. Sorry, not doing it. So that's it. Hello from Plainfield, Indiana. Manuel, thank you for joining. Welcome. General information disclaimer. Questions or answers to questions, general information, nothing specific to anyone's case. Let's see. Gold. You had me at gold. So Finest Shandy actually sells pure gold. Let me even thank you, Miss Edna Sanctuary. Like all y'all people who do, like, this is the one I have on his costume, but she actually sells real gold. Like I am, like this one, like gold. I have gold and then jewelry. I love jewelry. Like I could wear like $1 shirt. I don't care. But when it comes to jewelry, I wear jewelry. I wear what else? Those two things. Everybody's got something to splurge on. So Finest Shandy sells pure gold, and I think, I don't know the carats. I would assume from 14 to 24. Yeah, I know my gold. Yeah. So if you need to buy gold, Finest Shandy is your girl on Instagram, at Finest Shandy on Instagram. Hello, Miss Adeshewa. How are you? Let's see. Thank you. Refiling marriage-based petition. What's at stake? Thank you. That's what we talked about. It would be up to you if you want to listen to it. The more you know. Where's Miss Abina? I think she's probably, I don't know. Hope she's okay. But yeah. I know last night she was having some headache or something. Let's see. Yes, absolutely. Financial avoid overlap relationship or marriage before refiling again. Very, very. That's absolutely important. To narrate the questions. Thank you. Oh, Miss Ben is there. She's right there. She's right there. Learn about Jesus with a gift to open. Isn't that the way kids are, right? Like, listen, we're listening about Christ, but that's okay, Mr. Ben. Better late than never. Thank you, Miss Event. I'm loving these glasses. I am like, I put it on. I was like, it's got my name on it. Hello, Mr. Kelvin 𝒂𝒏𝒕. How have you been? Did you find any travel yet or no? I mean, 18 karat Italian gold. That's what she sells. Very, very specific because, gold, she go to lower. How's it different from gold from Dubai? Because I know my mom, like my mom used to sell gold growing up. My mom sold everything. I mean, that one wasn't not called what that is kind of thing. When you have 4 kids to take care of, you would be very, very industrious. I'm doing well, Mr. Kelvin. How about yourself? Hello, Chinea. How are you? Okay. I'm coming over TikTok just real quick. Let me go back here and just finish up this one. My podcast has been approved. Congratulations, Henry. And I've had a combo card for 5 years. Can I still use the combo card for travel after I receive my green card? When will I be able to remarry and apply for someone? General information, nothing specific to anyone's case. If your green card is still pending and you've got a valid travel document, advance parole, then it's still valid for travel. Whether or not you should travel, talk to your lawyer. I don't advise anyone who's not my client about travel. When you receive your green card, you are able to remarry at any point. However, you still cannot file for anyone within the 5-year period you get your green card until you become a citizen, or if you are interested in proving good faith in the new marriage you get into, as well as proving good faith in the marriage, in the abusive marriage through which you got your green card. So you've got to choose. Either way, you become a citizen or you prove good faith twice. You're welcome. Hello, sweet cheeks. Good evening. How are you? Okay. I got married last year, December, and I intend putting in for my marriage-based green card application by December this year. I am a spouse since to have all the required documents for the application except the joint tax return. Do you think that this might affect the application negatively in the long run? If you've got a valid, reasonable explanation why you didn't file taxes together, and you intend to file taxes together moving for instance, some people have one spouse is on child support, or one spouse owes back taxes and their wages a refund is being garnished, and a lot of people just decide to file separately so at least the household can have one refund while the other is being garnished. So as long as there's a reasonable explanation for it, and you've got other forms of evidence that can can substantiate or substitute for that, then you should be fine. Generally, not that I don't know, I'm not giving advice for your case, general information. Okay, Henry, if I knew you repeated your question, I would have skipped it altogether. So please stop. And please kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel at Olaleye Immigration. Very, very, we would appreciate that. No worries, Miss Sabina. Okay. But subsequently, Harry, I would, if I see you again, I don't know if that's your last one, I would look through and make sure you didn't repeat. If you repeat, I'm going to skip your question. So, all right, let's go on TikTok. Let's see. What about prior divorce abroad is considered invalid? The fact that you had a prior divorce in your home country doesn't mean it's automatically invalid. It's just that so many people have questionable divorce decrees from their home country, and that has become an epidemic with USCIS. I'll give an example. Like, I'm Nigerian, so I talk a lot about Nigerian divorce decree, and that's because I didn't. Even myself, I still have cases in the works where when I look back now and I look at it, divorce, I'm like, that's not genuine. But I wasn't looking at that because there was no reason as an attorney to say, okay, give me your divorce decree, and I'm checking and say, is it, because first of all, I don't authenticate documents. But when USCIS started denying cases rapidly because of divorce decrees, it's like, you know what? Let me start to educate myself, and I'm still learning. because each state, for instance, we have 36 states in Nigeria. There's some things that are the common for all high court decrees, but then we've got different kind of divorces and all that. So when it became an epidemic, quote unquote, is when USCIS now started looking into everyone's case. And so if the documents that you present to them are not in compliance with what the reciprocity schedule states or shows or says it should be, that's where the problem is. So it's not because your divorce decree from your home country is not automatically invalid just because it's from another country. It just has to conform with what the reciprocity schedule states. So to give you an example, one of the things that a lot of people don't know in Nigerian marriage is when you have a registry marriage and you get a divorce decree from the high court, is the fact that if you were married for less than 2 years in Nigeria, for instance, you got married in a registry, and you were married for less than 2 years, and you want to file for divorce, you are required to file a leave of court to be able to get a divorce if your marriage at the time you're filing for divorce was less than 2 years. It is mandatory. So I have this, God help us, but it's a 50-50 chance at best. But my client says, I want to take a chance, and got amended documents and amended decrees. And usually that it's either a hit or miss kind of thing. So that divorce decree she had submitted initially, when she filed for divorce, her marriage was less than 2 years at the time she filed for divorce. There was no leave of court. Our argument is there was leave of court. It's just that she didn't submit it because she didn't know what USCIS was specifically referring to. Don't know if that's going to work. I know we're going to have to make the argument one way or the other, but just so you know, if you look at your divorce decree and the day, because your date of marriage is going to be on that decree needs to decree and decree needs to decree absolute combination. The date of marriage is going to be on your decree needs to, and sometimes on the decree absolute. If by calculation the date you file for divorce is not up to 2 years from when you got married, then you must have a leave of court. If you do not, that's a huge red flag for USCIS, and that alone can be the sole basis of a denial. Just to give you an example. So I hope that clarifies that. How can I overcome a 212A visa denial? What other visas can I apply for? Go consult with a lawyer and find out what other options you have. Can you earn any money online, e.g. TikTok, while waiting for adjustment of status visa? If you're asking if you can work without authorization, I can tell you to work without authorization. So if you have authorization to work, I mean, you can work anywhere if you're already authorized to work by DHS. Thank you for you. I applied for my fiance 4 months ago and I haven't heard back yet. How can I get a receipt number? Call USCIS and give them as much information and see if they're able to pull up your case. Okay. Please talk more about 204C. What do you want me to talk about? 204C is not something you just talk about generally. 204C has to be something you argue based on the facts of each case. I have a very, very nasty is an understatement, 204C case. And that's what I'm saying. I was saying earlier on. When USCIS makes a 204C allegation, I hope going out alone. And so my head has been, I'm telling, literally just having a headache on this case. Because I'm trying to, so in this fact pattern, my client's got 3 children with his new spouse, right? 3 children with the new spouse. The previous marriage was an I-751. He already had a 2-year green card. Filed removal of conditions. So a 204C can still happen even after you get a 2-year green card, because he already had a 2-year green card. Everything was fine. The marriage was abusive. Things got really bad, and she made false allegations that he only used her for a green card. Went about his way, his life, everything was good. Decided, because she decided she wasn't going to file jointly with him, so he felt, what, I'm just going to start all over again. I don't mind starting all over. So he filed, his new spouse, the mother of his children, filed an I-130 petition on his behalf. I mean, so absolutely overwhelming good faith evidence. I mean, but meta together. I mean, what more good faith evidence do you need, right? 3 kids, everything was fine. Got a notice of intent to deny, not because of his current marriage to the mother of his 3 kids. I got a notice of intent to deny because, based on her false allegations, in the case that was the basis of his 2-year green card, even though he's forfeited the I-751 and starting afresh, they came back and said, we do not see anything wrong in your current marriage. You've got sufficient evidence. We believe it's a good fit marriage. However, you are prohibited from getting permanent residency or getting an immigration benefit, because we found that when you applied for your 2-year green card, which means whatever, it was solely for immigration purposes, and you're barred by 204C. And they were very specific in the allegations she made. So that's what we're exactly. So that's why I said it's a case specific matter, where it depends on what it is. Sometimes it's a case where someone claims you paid their money and all that. So there's no general thing to say other than what I've already said. But 204C is something you sit down with a lawyer, because it is a hard thing to overcome. God has to come down and step in. It is just I think in almost 10 years of practicing immigration law, when we took a 204C all the way, there's one case that went all the way to the U.S. District Court, but I backed out after. I just referred them over. But winning the case that went all the way to the BIA, I think in almost 10 years, only 2 came back from BIA where they actually remanded back and said, no, there was no 204C, substantial evidence of 204C. Every other one is just been affirmed. That's 𝒕𝐢𝐫𝐚𝐥𝐸. Let's see. Okay. So once again, can we please stop repeating questions? Let's see. Okay. Just ignore my baby. All right. Okay, I'm done there. I have a question. Okay, what's your question? Does election have influence on processing of N-400? Absolutely. There was a case that we filed 3rd week in September, and the 751 has been pending since 2022. So I was like, you know what, let's just file this. And I told my client, like, I don't think they're going to schedule you for an interview for election. When I tell you that, except those we just filed within the last 2 weeks, every citizenship application we filed prior to that has been scheduled for an interview. So does election have influence on the person of N-400? Absolutely. Why? Because obviously they want to have more votes. You've got to be a citizen to vote. So there you have it. You're welcome. Okay. Any news on PIP? We're still waiting. I think the date set by the court is November 8th. So we're still waiting. They're still scheduling biometrics and all that, but no approvals until that has been resolved. Okay. Where did I stop? Okay, hold on 1 second. I'm doing well. Hello, Whoa Boy. Same as Dubai. Okay, it's current Italian Dubai. Oh, please send me photos. Send me photos. How long does it take to get a job authorization? USCIS.gov/processing times. Is it normal to receive prima facie determination letter before I-360 receipt notice? It's not abnormal, but even if you do, that's fine because the prima facie determination will have your receipt notice on it. So you be able to pull up your number. So it's not abnormal. Hello, Mr. Abu. How are you? 900 days tomorrow and still no response about my vow. What can I do? Please, I got my combo card 5 years in March. 900 days. If your case is still less than 41 months, then it's still within normal processing time. Can you please talk more about K1 visa? Maybe another day. Thank you. Actually, Miss Ernest, actually, because I'm sure there's a video, video about K1 visa. Yeah. VAW was approved in March 2024. Congratulations. Green card approved July 2024. Congratulations. Yesterday, I got an update. Correspondence received and USA is reviewing it. What can that be? I cannot answer that question. Let's see. Whoa Boy is going to be participating in his first election. It feels good. It is. You feel. I mean, it's a privilege, and that's just the truth. Voting and being able to, exercising your rights in the country that allows that where the Constitution works. One cannot take that for granted. Okay. All right. I think we got to. You gotta be kidding me. Congratulations, Mr. Kevin. Oh my God, I gotta put it on. Oh my God. He says, thank you for all your help with my case and your awesome referral to your fellow lawyer. My 751 and 400 got approved today after my interview. I'm going to be sworn in soon. God bless you. This is what it's all about. This is what it's all about. So I've known Mr. Kim for quite a while. I couldn't be there, but I gave him an awesome referral because that's my go-to in Atlanta if I'm not able to do it. And it is amazing to hear that. Congratulations. Oh, finally. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. So happy. Congratulations, Mr. Kevin. I hope you're still on. You have no idea how happy that makes me. Are you still on? That is amazing. And so you're probably going to be sworn in hopefully before the elections. So just like Whoa Boy, you get an opportunity to vote. Make sure you go. If you are sworn in before the elections, make sure you vote. That's your way of paying it forward and giving back. So congrats. That's amazing news. That is just amazing news. Y'all, I'm telling you, it's just always good to hear news like, yeah, everybody says congrats, Mr. Kevin. This is what it's all about. Just being able to, because, as immigrants, we come here and we work our butts off. We find whatever it is that needs to be done, as long as it's legal. Don't do anything illegally. But there's no job where because everybody knows you have to start from somewhere, and it takes we're coming all the way from a lot of country. I mean, a lot of us leave everything in our home countries to start afresh. And just being able to know that one day you're able to settle like Mr. Kevin, like Whoa Boy, like Mr. in the Sanctuary, like Mr. Magic, just having that peace of mind, and knowing that God has indeed blessed the journey and it hasn't been in vain, no matter how long it takes. That's always the blessing in it. So I pray, just like God has done it for you, Mr. Kevin, that it will be every one of us still waiting on God's favor. Those who think that or who have told us that our cases may be impossible, let them remind them that you serve a God that specializes in impossibilities. So do not believe or accept, any report that is different from what God's report is, because any other report is man-made. There's nothing that compares to the Almighty God's report, and that is the credible evidence that you need. So, and on that note, I pray that our waiting on God is not going to be in vain. This is one of the reasons I come here together, not just to talk about immigration, but to celebrate and I know that as we rejoice with other people, God remembers us. And that is, I remember Mr. Magic was saying it, like, as he's rejoicing other people, God remembers us. Just if you come here, even if you have no questions, but just coming to be uplifted, to be encouraged, not to give up, to be encouraged to block out the naysayers and just wait for your time, and to be encouraged not to compare your own race to somebody else's race, and just hold on. Because if it's not in your favor yet, then it's not complete. And I can assure you, one thing I've known in 46 years is that God is a God of completion. So if it's not complete, then it's not even your favor yet. It's not complete yet. That means God is still working. So when it is completed in your favor by the God of completion, then you know that is it. So just hold on. All shall be well. And so on that note, I will see you guys next week. Bye.